and we will go ahead and get started. Just so glad to see everybody. I'm so excited for the school year to start back. All kinds of great things going on in districts. So just welcome for and thank you for taking a couple of hours out of your day. There will be ELA credit that you'll be able to get for this as well at the end. But thank you so much for being here today. We'll go ahead and just a reminder of our network. We did change and adjust the time this year because we were finding an hour and a half. We were just really pushed to get what we needed to, and a little stressed. So that was a recommendation. So we went back to 2 hours, which I think is great. If we get done early, great. Hopefully we won't be going over that. We do have a Google Drive, which I'll be sharing a link to that in the chat. And we will be recording and just, we'll talk about learning, great things going on around the state, trainings and things available, and just for trying to provide support the best we can. If you will, and I see a lot of you've already done it, you've already got your name in you got on, if you'll go to your participant list or just to the corner of your picture, if you haven't changed it, click those 3 dots and select to rename yourself. So it's got your name, and then you can put like a comma like what I have. I put KVEC, but just put your district if you don't mind. So that way we know where everybody's from, and just so glad to have you here today. Our agenda today, we have from KDE, Stacy Noah and Keith Greiser. Is that correct, Keith? Did I say it right?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I was hoping I did. Woo, yay. They're here to share some updates with us and some great things going on with the Principal Partnership Network and great things they're doing at KDE. And then we have our lineup with KVEC that's going to share some things going on and just kind of provide some updates and things for you all. And so I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen and hand it over to you, Stacy and Keith. Thank you so much for being here. Let y'all introduce yourselves and just appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Mary, for inviting us. The P3 team, we are a small but a mighty team. And unfortunately, we've lost one of our members since we were last at KVEC, Mary. Allison, she's transitioned to another position, right? Yeah.
Oh,
So
I did not know.
Yeah, that just happened recently. But you got Keith and I here today. So hopefully we'll be able to share all the info and let you know about our supports, and we can continue connecting. But just to begin, you'll notice on the screen here that we wanted to focus what our goal was when it comes to P3. Absolutely. We want to work collaboratively with principals, assistant principals, school leaders in all of the Kentucky schools to better equip principals and assistant principals to lead with a greater degree of effectiveness. So that is our primary goal. And there are a variety of ways that we try to reach that goal. And we're just going to touch on some of those today. We do have this opening slide. It's kind of a one-pager slide that's summarizing some of the primary things that are upcoming in the year 23-24. You'll notice at the top, and I'll just kind of use my mouse, my cursor here to emphasize, we've got a new event that is for new principals. We have not had this since before COVID. And whenever we did have the new principal kickoff cohort, it was super, super effective. Principals loved it. And the structure of this particular professional learning event it's pretty unique because we start off the day with some large group work, and we really try to provide some authentic simulation type experiences for principals, and they have that chance to sit together and have those collaborative conversations to troubleshoot real issues that occurred in the day-to-day work of the principal. And then the afternoon session, which we got a lot of positive feedback about. The afternoon is a chunk of time wherein KDE personnel comes to the learning event, and they have stations. And so the stations, principals can self-select which they want to attend. So we've got, for instance, a session or a station that's focused on site-based decision making. So the KDE person who's in charge of that is going to be available to share information around supports KDE offers and contact information. And then, just to create that positive relationship that KDE is here to support. We're not here to, lower the boom or try to catch somebody doing something. That is absolutely an incorrect message. It's all about support, resources, creating connections. And so the afternoon, like I said, it's a chunk of time where principals who attend will have the opportunity to visit the different stations of their choice, and we'll do 4 rotations. And then, if principals can't hit all of the sessions that they want to, then we've got 1-pagers that we're going to pass out so that they have the information and the contact person if they need more after the event. But we are going to drop a link now for the registration for this new principal kickoff, and we would love for you all to share this opportunity. ELA credit will be provided. And in the title here, it's called the New Principal Kickoff. And we want to make sure that folks realize new principal to us is like 0 to 6 years of experience. Not just after year 1. I mean, after year 1, yeah, you're new, but you're really, really new. Even at year 5, you're still new because there's so much to the role of the principal. So we wanted to expand that idea of years of experience, pushing it up to that 6 years or less. So if you don't mind, share that for us. And then another exciting opportunity, October 24th at KDE, we're going to have a very similar event, but it's going to be focused around the work of assistant principals. And that's something that we've heard often. Assistant principals need something specialized to their general day-to-day leadership responsibilities. And so we're going to try to design something to meet their needs. And the date, once again, is October the 24th, and ELA credit will be provided. Another thing we'd like to share in terms of getting it on your calendar, locking it in, is January 19th, 2024. We're having our virtual Principal Ed Camp once again, hugely successful. If you've not had a chance to attend one of our virtual ed camps, I encourage you to look at some of our past sessions. You can go to our site and see all of the sessions that were shared, the materials, the facilitators have their slide decks and notes and things available from the previous year. So check that out. And it's a very flexible event. You can pop in for a session, you can leave, you can come back. We have different types of ELA credit, a 3-hour or a 6-hour ELA credit for the event. So we just want to try to make it as easy as possible for folks to join, and you don't have to leave your building to go to that one. Another thing that P3 does offer, and let me just kind of backpedal a little bit. Everything that I'm talking about is free. And that, that's a steal right there. Everything about P3, we try to eliminate any kind of cost. We do not want cost to be a barrier for folks to participate. And one thing in terms of huge payout that principals can take part of free of charge is our cognitive coaching. And I'm going to let Keith talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Our cognitive coaching has just been approved, where we are going to be able to offer cognitive coaching. It's going to happen in this spring after Christmas. We'll have one cadre of cognitive coaching group, and we're going to be able to sponsor 20 school leaders. What normally costs $1,500 to attend this training, we're going to be able to put 20 people through cognitive coaching, and it's an amazing training. Yes, thank you, Angel. I agree 100% that this training, Stacy, you might want to mute. I'm getting some feedback. Cognitive coaching training is well worth the time. It's 8 days of training spread out into groups of 2 over the spring semester, and then we will follow up that training with a book study with that cadre of 20 principals, assistant principals who go through cognitive coaching. That is a competitive process for these scholarships, and so we will send out those the application here very shortly. Once we have to finalize the location of the training before we're going to send out the application process. But if you'll get on, I just put a link into the chat that's to get on our mailing list. And so if you want to receive the most up-to-date information, hop on our mailing list and you will be one of the first to receive the information when that application goes live. But it's a wonderful training, and I would love for you to apply for that. And we've had great success. The people who have been through it before just speak the praises of cognitive coaching, and especially Allison Gregory, who was our former teammate. Is one of the big reasons that she joined P3 was because of her experience with the cognitive coach training. Stacy, one other thing I was going to go ahead and share, if that's okay, is the resources section down at the bottom. You can see the resources section. One of the things that, and I'll go ahead and share my screen if that's okay. So Stacy, can I get a thumbs up if you can see okay, great. And then I need to move this so that I can get to under the resources tab here. You'll see the things that come down, and the principal calendar is something that a lot of administrators have found helpful. So if you click on the principal calendar and then scroll down, there is a link that's just a picture. If you click on the picture icon, it'll open that month up. And it's just a bunch of reminders for things that we probably should be working on during this month. It's sometimes an exhaustive list, and so I don't want it to feel overwhelming, but also didn't want to leave anything out. So as I go month to month, just a couple of the days that are important, that especially like if you're an elementary school teacher and, World Honeybee Day, you might want to do some kind of unit on the World Honeybees. I don't know. So that's on 8/20. But then you have items that are specific to that month is the next section. And so there are a lot of things that are specific to August. August is a big month for management and organizing of things and making sure your systems are in place. But then below that, we have ongoing calendar items. So things that are relative to assessment. There are some links there to help principals and assistant principals out. Brigance testing is happening now, all those kinds of things. Site-based, there's a monthly reminder of what your agenda probably should look like for your site-based training. And you can see all the things for your own evaluation for school safety. We've partnered with John Akers at the School Safety Center, and we try to provide the links that they include for everyone. So just so it's a one-stop shop for things that are important to principals. And then at the bottom of the list are some wonderful professional learning opportunities. And so we have, links to all the co-ops and what they're offering during that month. On the left, lots of different websites. KSA is our partner, and we try to make sure that we cover and include things that they are offering. And then on the right are the specific dates of things that we're offering and other things that maybe should be highlighted. So that's the principal calendar. We also have some other resources that are on the home page regarding PCEL and other items that maybe would be helpful to you. So Stacy, I just wanted to share those real quick. I'll turn it back over to you. I'll stop sharing.
All right. So Keith, let me get a thumbs up from you. Can you see my screen now? All right, perfect. Thank you. So Keith alluded to principal voice opportunities. I want to touch on those just for a moment. PCEL example development. Every year we work on a particular PCEL standard to be updated. And Mary, I want to give her a shout out. She was involved this past semester working on that. And thank you for your time and your effort on it. But in probably late October, we'll be releasing an update with that standard that we've been working on. And every year I'm sending out emails asking folks to volunteer and be part of that. So just if you don't mind, share that with your principals and assistant principals as an opportunity to be involved in statewide work. And all of you are invited as well. You do not have to only be a principal. Any instructional leader, maybe if you're supervising a principal, it'd be a wonderful professional learning experience for you to engage in. So you are of course invited to participate. And the Principal Advisory Council, that's something that we also facilitate. The P3 team meets with principals 4 times a month, and Dr. Glass is always there at the meetings, and they are advocates for the profession. I tell you, it's a phenomenal group. We have geographic representation. We have representation that includes all of the different grade spans, and every couple of years, we're seeking out people to apply to be part of the Principal Advisory Council. So if you ever get that email, that's one that you want to pay a special attention to, because it is a phenomenal opportunity, and it's a great way for principals to have that strong voice that's going to impact policy. All right, so we've got a nice, easy QR code on the screen now, and whenever you access the QR code, you're going to be able to go straight to our P3 webpage. But then, of course, you've got the links to our P3 site. I know Keith has been dropping those, but easy access here using that QR code if you're interested. And a couple of more trainings that we are responsible for that I just want to share and make sure that folks have an understanding about is the initial certified evaluation training and the update evaluation training. Now, both of those trainings, they are associated with ELA credit, and they are required trainings, but there's a little bit, well, there's a huge difference between the two. So I wanted to just kind of touch on that. As mentioned, they are required per 704 KAR 3:370. So we do have that regulation that specifies we must do this. And so here is the text from the regulation. And I'm just going to point out two things here. You'll notice in this 4A section, this is referencing the initial certified evaluation training and testing. So it's a 2-day training, and the only provider for that is the Kentucky Department of Education / P3 team. So we are the provider for that, and it is required that any new evaluator have this training before engaging in summative or formative evaluations. So keep that in mind. If you're hiring anyone new who's going to be in any type of evaluation capacity, they've got to go through this 2-day training. And then after completing that 2-day training, every year, one must go through the 6-hour update. So if you are evaluating after you've done the 2-day training, the next year you have to do a 6-hour update evaluation training. The next year you have to do a 6-hour update evaluation training. So every year that must occur. Now, in terms of how the two are different, the update training can be provided by local districts, can be provided by KVEC, your cooperatives, or other vendors that are approved through the Effective Instructional Leadership Act with that ELA certificate. So just wanted to make sure that everyone had a clear understanding of those two requirements, because the training dates for those are really about to come to completion. And I wanted to share with you on the screen here, we do have some availability for initial certified evaluation training. You'll notice that we have provided a variety of different options and tried to touch all areas of the state in terms of location for them. But we have our in-person options, which are showcased on the left side of the screen. And we've got one actually coming up next week. It's pretty interesting that when we had it at KVEC, one person told us that you'll have to help me remember, Mary, how long did she drive from Northern Kentucky to get there?
I think she drove about, what was it, 3 hours?
I was thinking it was
3.
a little longer than that, like a 4 hour.
Maybe it was 4. Maybe
Yeah.
it was 4.
Yeah. But you can see, so basically while we're having them at co-ops, any other person can come to the co-op for the training. It's just about, what works best for your time, your schedule, location, of course. But if if somebody's in the KVEC co-op, they can still come to like September 12th and 13th at the GREC co-op. All right. It's just all about the location and the timing that works best for folks. So looking at those, we have some availability for in-person. Now our virtual options, you can see here that we have 3 coming up in August and September, and they're already full. So we've just got the November and then the January options left for those. And then lastly, our update training. We did host one at KVEC. Felt like it. Well, no, actually, this one's the one coming up October 3rd. We are offering one at KVEC, and that arrow has covered it up, unfortunately. But if you have folks who maybe in your district you offered update training this summer, they weren't able to come to it, this would be an option. I know, Mary, are you all hosting another update, or have you already completed the one you were doing?
I still have an update training too that we
Okay.
do. I try to do it virtually. So 2 more options with us here with you and me. So we've still got that one August the 30th.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's great. But you can see from the P3 perspective, we've only got 2 left, October 3rd. If somebody hasn't gotten it by November the 9th, we're going to offer it at the Kentucky Department of Education. So that'll probably be a big group. We've got a big conference room set for that one. All right. So with that, we are finished, but we wanted to close by, of course, sharing our contact information, letting you get a little feel for who we are. We are both former principals, so we feel like that's a real asset whenever it comes to supporting principals. We've been there, we've walked in their shoes and such, and so we're both all about providing the support, and love to partner with KVEC and with all of our cooperatives, but just wanted to close by that. And then if anyone has questions, we're certainly willing to answer anything or provide any other details.
All right, we'll wait just a minute, try to practice that wait time that's so hard for us to let them have a chance. Feel free to unmute or type in the chat, whatever you feel most comfortable with, if you have any questions for Stacy or Keith. And so appreciate you all being here today. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Keith, you want to share anything else, or?
We just appreciate you having us. We love partnering with our cooperatives and having a chance to find out what's going on within this region and spread the great things to the other end of the state. So question in the chat about, is there a link for the AP kickoff? That has not been opened yet, but if you get on that mailing list, you will receive that link as soon as it is finalized and ready for registration. Thank you for the question.
The link you did put in the chat was the new principal kickoff. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All righty.
And I put a link to the mailing list and a link to our homepage
Mm-hmm.
and a link to the new principal kickoff. So those should all 3 be in the chat. If you can't see them, just let me know and I'll be glad to repost.
Mm-hmm. I've got them. I'm going to add them to your all slide on our PowerPoint so that whenever I share my PowerPoint, if you want to share with me your slide you use, Stacy, I'll put that on there too.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that they
absolutely.
can get those.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you all so much. Always appreciate you. And Keith, I have to say, I love the calendar. I think that was an awesome idea. I think it's great. And I make sure I keep that on the Padlet that we have for information. So
Great.
I think it's a great resource.
Yeah. I'm glad you're liking it and using it. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Think it's awesome. Well, if no one has any more questions.
Mary, invite us back anytime. I love to see all my KVEC friends.
Oh, thank you. We sure will. Thank you, Stacy. Anytime you have something too, don't hesitate to reach out and say, hey, can I be on the next principal and IDPC meeting if you have something you want to share out in the region. So, and Vanessa put in there, she loves the calendar too, Keith. But thank you all.
Great to see you.
You too, Bernadette. Hey, Bronna. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. Wow, what a great amount of information there. And so glad that Stacy and Noah were able to join us. We'll go ahead and continue with information um, provided for different things coming up for you all to be aware of. So I'm going to hand it on to Dion. Are you still around in here for us?
I am here, Mary.
There you are. Awesome. Do you want me to click on your document and pull it up? Or do you want me to let you share it?
Either way, I don't mind to share. I have it on my screen.
I will go ahead and make you a co-host then.
Okay.
All righty. There you go, my dear. You should be good to share.
All right. I'll enlarge that so we can see. So thank you for inviting me to join you all this morning. So I will just be providing the update for the special education, or our CERTEC here at KVEC. And so we have some things coming up for around trainings, but a couple of things I wanted to say is the second one you see on this screen is the Autism Hour. And last year we began working with the Kentucky Autism Training Center to provide a monthly session from 3:30 to 4:30, and I'll remember to put that time on there. And it's for any teacher that has students that serve students that have autism in their classroom. They can attend those sessions. So we do some around structured teaching. We do a lot around how just to support those students in the classroom. So we are going to continue that Autism Hour for this entire year. And so those links will always be available, and they're on our site as well. And those dates are at the bottom of this page. So you'll know that each time we have those scheduled. But Kim Howard with the Kentucky Autism Training Center always does a great job. And we always archive those as well, so that you can go back to those links and use those with teachers or support anybody that is serving those students with those particular sessions. So I just want to make sure that I shared that we are going to do that this year for the entire year. So every month we will have those. The same thing with the new and emerging special education teacher cadre. We always have so many new teachers, and we always try to think about how we can continue to support new teachers. And so we do a monthly cadre meeting for new special ed teachers as well. This year we have partnered with Rick Fisher from the Thoughtful Classroom, and he has tailored some very specific sessions for us to support teachers that work with students with disabilities. So he's really framed lots of those instructional strategies that they use that are evidence-based to be applicable for special education teachers to use in the classroom. So he will be leading 4 of our sessions this year. And the first one in September, he will be leading that session for us too. So it's all about strategies and how we support students with disabilities in the classroom. And we always think about what does that look like in our specially designed instruction. So those will also be recorded and archived. So I want to let you all know about that one in case we had new administrators joining us today. I also wanted to say on August the 29th, we have Teresa Combs. She does our annual update. So she does special education and 504 legal updates for us. And that one is going to be here at KVEC in person. And I'll make a note of that too, also on this link. And Mary has this link so that you all have access to all of this information as well. We have just scheduled our fall conference, and we always have that one set up for any of your emergency and probationary teachers that need the 6 hours in the fall and then the 6 hours in the spring as part of their requirement. That one is going to be available, but that one's going to be packed full of great sessions for any special educator or related service provider or teachers that serve students with disabilities. So that one will be, we always have half sessions that are for compliance, and then the other half of the sessions generally are for how we support academic and behavioral strategies for students. The next thing is a principal support network that we established. This is brand new for this year. And we worked with Mary on this and our special education department because we have been working with principals, and feedback for us was that there are some areas that we would like to continue to support principals in. And so we put together a network, and it would just meet quarterly. And we are going to provide some very specific training for any administrator that would like to attend. And you can see in September, we're going to talk about co-teaching. And that's really much deeper than the training that we've done before about just what are the 6 models of co-teaching, but this one's really about what's that look like in teachers planning and working together to serve students that have an IEP and receive specially designed instruction, but then how that can support other administrators as well. I mean, and other teachers. So it's just a one about co-teaching and maybe just a little deeper dive. The next one is behavior and discipline, and that's in November. That will be Teresa Combs, and Teresa Combs is going to do a session for us about, we have a lot around, if there's behavior issues and doing manifestation determination. And so that's really about what she's going to talk about how we do that, when we should do that, and when that's appropriate. January 31st, we're going to talk about the difference between accommodations, modifications, and specially designed instruction. And that will help us understand kind of how do we bridge those gaps between what high quality instruction for students that have disabilities, and especially for those students, maybe we are thinking about those kids that continue to perform at novice level, even though they have accommodations and modifications. What does that specially designed instruction mean? And what we found is that people maybe have a little bit of trouble knowing the difference between all three. And so part of that work that we're doing around helping us to distinguish and understand the difference is helping teachers also see what it means for a child to have specially designed instruction. And that's what happens with the instructional piece versus the accommodation, which gets them access. So that one has been something that we found a need for, and we've decided to go ahead and do a session. And again, those will be recorded. We'll put them on our site as well. And then the last one is that universal design for learning. And that one has been a good hot topic here lately, because we're looking at about how can we, that instructional piece for what all students need, and then how we layer that based on whether a student has, is in need of some interventions, or they are in, they have a 504, or ultimately they have an IEP. So we just talk about those different layers of that. So that'll be another session. And you can see those are the links that are open for you to register for any of those. And this link here takes you to the KVEC Exceptional Children site. And I will click on that one. And so this is our Exceptional Children site. So this always has all of the upcoming events that we have. And I just want to take 1 minute just to show you. Here is all of the asynchronous learning modules that we have available. So when I talk about those being archived, like the Autism Hour with Kim Howard, all of the videos and the sessions that she has done, you can see on preschool sensory needs. She does inclusion. So you can see all of those sessions that she did with us last year are archived and available for you. So you can use those for some professional learning, and the same thing for our new and emerging teachers. So everything that we do, we try to record and make available for you for later. And I just wanted you all to see where that one was at in case that you wanted to quickly get back to that. So that's a quick reference there. Also on the screen, if you'll look on the top right-hand corner, that's a QR code that takes you directly to our Exceptional Children site as well. And then the last thing I wanted to share is down here is those dates, because just in case you want to go back and reference those, you'll see that our new and emerging teacher network that meets the second Wednesday of every month from 3:30 to 4:30. The third Tuesday of the month is with Kim Howard with Autism Training Center. And then we have our regional director of special education meeting, and it's always the third Friday of the month. And some of those are in person, some of them are virtual. So those are just some updates I wanted to share with you all. So I see a couple things I'll add some times on, but you should be able to go back and find those on those links. And I think that's all I have right now, Mary.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dion. I will look at this and I think what a wonderful resource for our principals and district administrators, because if you have a special ed teacher right here, you've made a wonderful document that they can readily see, oh, here's some things available for my teachers in special ed if they're having trouble, like especially on the website, all of those recorded trainings that you have available for them. It's just a wealth of information. You all do a fabulous job. Thank you so much for sharing. That's a wonderful thing for our administrators to have access to. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Does anybody have any questions for Dion that you might want to ask? You can unmute or drop it in the chat, whatever you feel comfortable with on that. But wonderful information. That I will be dropping the PowerPoint into our shared folder, and so that is hyperlinked on. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Where did y'all go? I lost you. There you are. Happens to me too. But when I drop this into the Google Drive, all the hyperlinks, like you can click on that special education update, it's there, and I also put it in the chat for you all. So just making sure that you all have access to those and keep those handy. I am not seeing anything in the chat, any questions. So Dion, appreciate you so much. If anything comes up, you know, I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mary. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Thank you.
Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful information. Now, next up, we have Bernadette, our DEIB, the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Belonging Lead here at KVEC. If you don't know Bernadette, you know, you're going to love her. I mean, oh my goodness, it seems like everybody knows her, but you take it away, Bernadette.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Some may know me and may wish they didn't, but I'm going to believe that they are glad they do. But anyway, I'm the DEIB lead here at KVEC, and I work with the other co-ops across the state, and there's one at every co-op, one of me. And we meet regularly, and our focus is on providing equity, inclusion, belonging, and addressing the diversities within us. And the first thing that I have listed here is the equity dashboard. And I've done several trainings on this, but it's within your Infinite Campus. And if you're not using that, please do, because you're really missing out on a lot of good information. If you have questions on it, I actually have a videotaped training that I did, or you can call me. I'd be happy to go over it with you. But it really provides you with information that can help you address the diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And it addresses it within content areas even. So if you have not done that or don't have access to that, I would say, and of course it's a district decision who has that access, but I think every principal and every counselor definitely need that, because that's such good information that you can use. So that's just a little bit about that. I have a little bit more in there about it, but you know, you'll have this PowerPoint, so you can look at that. And on the holler, there also is a video of my training. But if you still do have questions, I have a very easy guide to get you in there to where you can use that. Also, something else we're doing is personalized coaching, and this is it's called the Equity Playbook. And some people, we have folks in Floyd County that I'm working with on this, and they're picking up some more this year. And then I'm working with some in Johnson. But it really helps. There's 5 pillars within that Equity Playbook, and all this falls, this one thing too that I want to point out, all of it falls under MTSS. So in order to address and do what you need to in MTSS, you have to be doing some of these things. But it looks at student achievement, utilization of funding and resources. You can see there the others. I'm not going to read them all to you, but what you do when you have a coach, we have folks that come in here from outside the state, and they train us and they train the folks in your district, and they actually do the coaching. And it's not like a gotcha, it's a conversation type thing to help you with questions to get you to where you need to be. You choose the pillar that you want to focus on. Just a really good opportunity, and I hate that more people haven't jumped on it, because they're really missing out. Brana in the beginning was very hesitant because she had to have a coach too. And so do I. I have a coach. And, but she found out it was one of the best things she'd ever done. So it really helped us to stay focused and helped us. What we did was I chose culture and climate. And it helped me to get my plan in place and to follow my place, because I had somebody that was talking me through it and asking me questions, but not overwhelming me. So it's a really good thing. Right here, I just have some trainings that were available to do. Cultivating opportunity, that is a training where we're actually cultivating the culture within your school or district. And when we do this, we break it down, and you've heard of the A4s, and that's what falls under DEIB. That was one of our first tasks, was to train on that. But this training takes that and encompasses it in this. So it's all in there together. But A1 is awareness, A2 is acknowledgement, A3 is acceptance, and A4 is action. So the first thing is you have to become aware of yourself, what your feelings are, what your thoughts are, and kind of face your own biases. And then you acknowledge that. Oh, well, I guess I do. I'm acknowledging it. So what am I going to do about it? I've accepted it now. That's A3. So my actions, what's my plan going to be to work on that and make sure that I do have a good culture? And it's a really good training. We've done it with some districts, but be happy to do that for you. Then we also have the power of courage and connection, which falls under that, under cultivating opportunities. Cultural competencies, I was talking about the A4 modules. Addressing those 4 modules helps you to get to the cultural competencies. And I actually have a really good continuum. It's like a rubric that shows you can look at it, and you don't really have to tell people where you are, but you can say, this is where I am, and I got to work to get over here. So really good stuff. I talked about the equity dashboard, trauma-informed training. We also have that, bridges out of poverty, emotional poverty, and emotional poverty 2, and capture, curate, and share. And we also are getting trained, and Bronna can tell you a little bit more about this because she signed me up for this. But it's a training to do with boys. And Bronna, what was the title of that?
It's Boys in Crisis. I've
Okay.
got it on my next slide, but yeah,
Very good.
that'll be
care.
available in January.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do the training for that. So if you have any questions or if you need training scheduled, there's my phone number. It's my cell phone, so you can get me anytime, and there's my email. Thanks for listening to me. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bernadette. I have a question. You said that people can sign up still. Is the cohort 3 option open right now? And if so, how do they get to that?
If they contact me within the next few days, I possibly can get them in.
Okay.
We're going to have our trainings in September. Once that starts, I think that's going to be it. KDE is hoping to develop their own platform or keep with the platform. We actually have a little bit new one, a different one this year. So I think they've worked with KDE to make it more what we need here in Kentucky. So they're hoping to continue this even after our contract with the platform folks ends. So just if you're interested, call me now, or email me now, because it's going to be too late. And I probably could get you in at this point.
Okay. So you're saying like yesterday, they need to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. At least by the end of this week.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
If there's not any, are there any questions for Bernadette? Like I said earlier, feel free to unmute or drop questions in the chat. Happy to answer anything you have, and appreciate you sharing all that great information. And I am going to plug this for both Bernadette and Bronna, that Bridges Out of Poverty training, or the emotional poverty. That is such a huge thing in our region. Definitely reach out to them. That is a great training for your faculty and staff to be exposed to. It's just, it's really helpful. So keep that in mind too if you're looking for something that your teachers that could be very beneficial in working with our students who are in low economic status there. But if there's no questions, I will click. And we have now the awesome Brana Francis here getting ready to, yeah, buddy, here she is. Love her.
Okay,
She
I'll
does
let you lie
awesome.
a little bit if you want to.
No,
Mary.
I don't. I do not. A lot of people on here know me. They know
Oh,
that.
no, I was just talking about what you said about Bernadette, not me.
Oh. Oh my
I can't
goodness.
stand her.
I'm going to be
She's
good.
so wrong. You are so rotten, people.
I know,
Oh
I
my
got to
goodness.
stop that. Oh,
I
hi,
love it, though.
everyone out there.
I'll hand
I
it
feel like I'm
over
on
to you.
okay. I feel like I'm on a radio talk show. I like it. Anyway, just a little bit about what's going on here. KVEC, the counselor cadre, Heather Bushelman, she took a job in Boone County. And so she's not with us anymore, but Damien, he will be taking over the counselor cadre lead for the state, but we'll be doing some stuff here for counselors also. But for right now, this is the calendar for the state counselor cadre meetings. And I've sent that out to everyone, but I will send it out again. And then we have the health and PE cadre that has been completed. So that is closed. We don't, unless we get another grant for that. So can I click or are you clicking, Mary? Thank you. Okay, listen, do not miss this opportunity. It is she's absolutely fabulous. We've seen her. She trained with Harry Wong. She used his stuff for her classroom. I mean, she's a hands-on presenter. She goes into classrooms. So she knows what's going on, and she is actually the only other person that has shared the stage with Harry Wong. So anyway, trainings are still available for new teacher through the new teacher grant. Shalonda will be here August the 23rd, and she'll be here from 8:30 to 12:30. And the rest of the day, if you choose to stay, if you choose to stay, you can work out your own plan for your classroom. If school's already started, that's okay. You can still get in there and get you a good classroom management plan. And you can customize it and use it however it suits your needs. But anyway, this is great. And Mary, she put this on there, and I'm glad she did. It's great for new and experienced teachers. New teachers, not just new teachers need classroom management training, but there's a lot of teachers that are experienced that also need that. But anyway, so she'll be here, and she'll be here to 12:30. So if you don't have anybody registered, or you don't have, you can't find the link or whatever, let me know, and I'll send it out again. I've sent it out several times. But anyway, she's fantastic, and we're glad to get her here. And then Dave, I think, is that an M on his name? I think it's supposed to be an N, but anyway, he's written the book Teach Like a Champion, and he will be here at KVEC, but right now the date is not set, but it'll probably be later, hopefully in November. Keith Brown, if you've never seen him, he does the I'm Possible for teacher motivation, and he is more than likely going to be in March. And I thought this would be a good time for teachers and principals and staff before, to get them a little motivated before assessment time, but he is really, really good, and he has a lot of good tips, and he's very motivational. You have to get excited when you see him. Bernadette and I saw him in Lexington, and he, I don't even know what you call it when you like at a concert and somebody flows on top of people and they just kind of hand them
They took him
through.
through the air.
Yeah. What's that called? Anybody, you young people, you know what that's called? But
I don't
anyway,
know. I was too short to touch him, but I just stood there.
well, she just kind of waved at him. She's like, there he goes. Hi.
Crowd surfing.
What?
Crowd surfing.
Crowd surfing. That's it. He surfed through the
That's
crowd.
it.
But I didn't reach up, but I just like, but Bernadette couldn't touch. So, and well, anyway, so very, very good, very motivational. And okay, we have an exciting new thing going on. And I've sent this out to everybody, and I think Kim sent it out to everybody. We have our lovely Kim Sargent, who is absolutely fantasticable. Anyway, that's a new word I made up. New teacher corps for social studies, and right now it's full. We have 17, and it's at capacity. So hopefully, if you've got your teachers signed up for this, they will really, I mean, not even hopefully, but they will really get so much from this that it's just going to be hard to pass, hard to explain. But anyway, if you have whomever your teachers are that's in that, they can, maybe talk and help and work with your other teachers, Okay, and Mary and I have been talking about the Kagan Professional Learning, and we're hoping that we'll be able to provide that through the new teacher grant. But we'll talk about that a little later when we get some more, we'll get some more details on that deal. So listen, if you haven't signed up for Shalonda Soror, please do. Okay. Of course, I do SEL, and I still do the SEL trainings for the 5 components. Anybody needs that. Trainings for principals, we do that. Bernadette and I both do Emotional Poverty, Book 1 and 2. And the Bridges Out of Poverty, we do that. And any new teacher trainings that you need. And these trainings right here will be available in beginning January 2024, Framework for Understanding Poverty, Boys in Crisis, and the R Rules. If you haven't had any of Ruby Payne's work and you haven't been to any of her stuff or any of those trainings, or your teachers haven't, new teachers especially, if you can get them right out of the gate and they can understand that poverty, especially where we work, where we live, it makes a big difference. It changes the way you look at things. It changes the way you look at your classroom. So that's just a thing about that. So if you need anything, any of these trainings, you want any of these trainings, you just call Bernadette, call our cell numbers are on here, or you can email us, and we will we'll be right there for you. And I wanted to say about the coaching. Yes, Bernadette always rats me out on this deal because, if you've been principal, you you kind of had a lot of that. But anyway, coaching, she says, no, you got to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, you've got to do it. I said, okay, I'm going to do it, because she makes me, I'm scared of her. So anyway, so when we did the coaching, it was great. And I'm telling you, if you don't, I hope she can get some of you in that really want to be in it. It really makes a difference in how you do things. And you don't think you need a coach until you have one, and then you needed it. So and you get some badges, and I'm going to have to say got quite a few badges. Anyway, so there's that. And thank you all. I don't know if anybody has any questions. They can just let me know, unmute, text me, or no, yeah, you can text me or call or email. They don't send a pigeon because that's messy. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you. That's so all kinds of great things going on. I held up the book here because it's got Shalonda on the front of it. Okay. On the first days of school, I was trying to point to it. I was like, "Hey, there she is, y'all." If you like,
I will
I'm
say,
a huge fan.
If you haven't gotten her book, you will get her book. In all these trainings, you will get a book. Like Teach Like a Champion, you will get that book when you come. So, and if you don't already have the first days of school, you'll get that book when you come too.
Awesome. That is terrific. In the Kagan strategies, Bronna, when that gets released, the idea is that each district will be able to send like so many teachers at no cost, right? Isn't that what we kind of talked? So
Yeah,
want to make sure
yeah.
that, that's a great thing for those new teachers, some great cooperative learning strategies for them to be able to work
Yeah,
together. So
yeah,
awesome. I'm
yeah.
so excited. Yay.
That's a lot of good stuff going on. You guys got a lot of good things to get in on. I want to say hello, Jessica Mullins. She won't show her face, so I'm just going to call her out on it.
Hello, Bronna.
Ah, there she is. Okay, I'll let whoever's next go on.
All right.
Thank you all. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Awesome stuff going on. So keep in mind, if you have any questions for Bronna, don't hesitate to reach out. There's her email and cell number. So thank you so much for sharing. Next is Kim. Are you able to talk? I'm a little worried about her. Are you there?
I am here.
Oh, bless her.
I'll talk real fast and just be super brief, which is always a good thing. But you guys can see some stuff on the slide there. The writing and the social studies, even though we have a definite date, if that pulls back, if the date has to change or anything like that, we'll let you guys know quickly. The equity and access, Dion and I were going to talk about that a little bit yesterday. That probably is going to be virtual, but that is going to be something that you can really encourage your teachers, your social studies teachers, all grade levels, everything to be in that one, because that is really about taking our standards and making it accessible to every student. That is not, not just those kids who can, but all kids. So then looking at the last one there, the Teaching American History, American Founding and the Electoral College, that is huge. There's a link there and that link is live. Please share that. The folks that need to be in that, to be honest with you guys, this is one of those sessions that it's 5th through 12th. This is a very difficult subject to teach with our students, to really get them to understand. I dare say there's adults who really don't understand the Electoral College, especially nowadays. You guys are seeing, you may have seen or may not have seen, but for decades, there's been a push to get rid of the Electoral College, that it's no longer really necessary and that kind of thing. So, and this is something that when we talk about it in school and college, we talk about it for maybe a day or two in our history classes and we move on and we're told about it. We never really dive deeply into it. And especially thinking about our social studies standards and the depth of knowledge that our students have to show, we also need our teachers to have that depth of knowledge so they can teach this to the level that needs to be taught, so our students are able to use that information and know things. You guys see the supports there from the bottom. That's anything and everything that I can do with you all. It's been a very powerful summer for me. I just want to say I've been in numerous districts, and we've been looking at deconstructing the standards, especially to look at assessment and thank you so much to my buddies in Floyd County. We're in the process right now of developing our second benchmark that's to be used across the district and that kind of thing. And that's so important. But I'm extremely excited about this new teacher core that Bronna mentioned. And, we'll share things as we go along, with all of that. But that is something very intentional that we're piloting to see how we can work with those teachers and support them, especially when you start thinking about that many times we have teachers that are going into the classrooms, and many of them at assessment level, at 5th grade and 8th grade and 11th grade, that are coming in as mats and things like that. And they need a lot of support. So she and I sit down this summer, really kind of talked this over and said, this is a need. And so we're going to make it happen, and we'll keep you guys posted as things go. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Hope you feel better. Thank you so much for being on here with us today. But if you have any questions for Kim, don't hesitate to reach out to her, or you can unmute or ask her or drop some things in the chat.
Kim, I just had a question for next Wednesday. Are you having your core group to come?
Yes. And the core group, by the way, principals, be looking out for those emails today, and probably also going to just tag the superintendent so they are aware. But this pilot group will be notified today that they're going to be part of this, and they are there. We have 2 mandatory meetings, and that's, you know, first of the year and end of the year. And next Wednesday is our first mandatory. They're going to spend half the day with Shalonda, and then the second half with me to start talking about social studies.
Thank you, Kim.
Anything else? All right. If not, we'll go on. Do we need a break? Does anybody need, we're at 10 o'clock. Do we need a 5-minute break, or do we want to just keep on trucking? What did you say, Bronna? I didn't hear you. I thought you were
I said power through.
power through. Okay, power through. So, okay. Because honestly, we may get done a little early. Okay, I'm a little bit more relaxed here where we have the more time. It might not, but what we'll do is we'll just go right on through just some different things. Carol Mullins, we have her, and so thankful to have her with us. And so if you have any needs related to reading and writing, please don't hesitate to reach out to Carol Mullins to be able to get some assistance with the reading and writing standards. She is phenomenal. If you are not familiar with some of her work, she does a wonderful job with the Writing Revolution. I went through the letters training that, and they even mention it within that training that with some of the presenters I've had. It's a great resource. If you're looking for something to help with writing, that would be something really good to talk to her about. That's at the bottom. But anything related to your reading and writing, she is phenomenal. So do not hesitate to reach out to her and ask for support. Upcoming trainings to make sure that you are aware of. They are on the PL calendar. This is a series with Megan Martin, and we have had some requests related to behavioral and behavioral health interventions. And so all of this series is centered around that. It all is under the MTSS umbrella. So I am putting the link in the chat for the registration. If you sign up for one, you've signed up for them all. You don't have to attend them all, but that way we kind of, when I discussed it with her, we kind of thought, well, just let everybody sign up for all of them. And if you can't attend, they will be recorded. But Megan is phenomenal with the information she shares. And so if you're interested, they are virtual. And they are after school. They are, so teachers, principals, district leads, anyone that would be interested in learning more about these, please don't hesitate to sign up. So there's the registration in the chat for those. So just want to make sure you're aware. And like I said, those are virtual, not in person. This is new. This is just, we've been thankful. Perry County has agreed to be a host because we don't have space here at KVEC, but KDE is going to work with us on, we keep hearing portrait of a learner. And some of you are very well versed in that, but some of us are kind of newbies when it comes to portrait of a learner. So we have Robin Hayden, Sarah Snipes, Rob Collins. They're going to be working with us to provide a series on portrait of a learner and kind of the process going through that, because there's been, they've received survey information that is something some of you are interested in. So we are going to do laying the foundation and introduction to portrait of a learner for district administrators. Of course, principals, you're welcome to for this. It is going to be September 20th. It is going to be hybrid because we do know some of you are quite a distance away. And so even though you might not could come, this would provide you that opportunity to attend virtually. So the registration is available, and I will drop that in the chat for you as well. But that is something that is, we're hearing that they had at one of the last board meetings for the state, there's a lot of talk around this. And so we have KDE coming in doing this training to kind of talk through this and to provide some support. And just notice the location is at West Perry. We have a little bit of a limit on the number that can be there. But like again, we said it is hybrid, so you can attend virtually. Next is upcoming math trainings from our PD survey that we had received from you all back in, I think we got it back in February from you all, that we were started collecting. A lot of you expressed a need for math. And so I've teamed up with Stephanie Kidd here at KVEC. She works with special ed. She is fabulous. And so working together, we've already done the standards training back in July, and several of your teachers have attended that. So now we have another round. So we're doing this series in September. It's around management and routines in mathematics. We're going to also provide a book for that. The book that goes with that is going to be provided. So sign that up. We're kind of teaming up and going to be doing some co-teaching and working with some stations in that one. So that would definitely be maybe something of interest. And we are recommending to send a math teacher and their special ed teacher that works with them too, so that they kind of get that experience of that teaming up and co-teaching. In November, the topic for, you'll notice it's divided by grade band, high cognitive demand task in math. And so that's going to be our next thing in November. So be sure to sign up. Those are all on the PL calendar, which I'll be dropping that link in the chat. And these are hyperlinks on the PowerPoint, so you can also click on those. And I think I did send those out in an email to everybody early on. Things to remember, just in case to remind you, no pressure. It's not due till October 1st, but phase 1 is open in Cognia, where you are working on your comprehensive district improvement plan and your comprehensive school improvement plans. The diagnostics that are due, you can see the school safety report is different for the schools. It's due in the next phase for districts. So just making sure you're aware those are open. Just be careful. That's a little tricky. It's very easy to mess those up, and maybe try to do one instead of selecting the district diagnostic. You might select the school if you're the district person filling it out in school, making sure you're clicking on the school diagnostic needing to be done. So those can be a little tricky to do, but those are out there and are in process. So started August 1st and ends October 1st. So just that reminder. New Teacher Network is the same day as IDPC. If you don't have teachers signed up, please make sure to have them sign up for this. I'm sending it out to those that have registered and to ones that were at our New Teacher Institute. I'll drop that in the chat. So if you want to share that with any of your new teachers to register. Today we're doing formative and summative assessments, and that's with me. The big thing I want to make sure is the goal from this is that, you know, at the end of the session, they are fully aware of difference between formative, summative. We'll talk a little about diagnostic and interim, but the big goal is that they have ones that they're going to walk away and try, and have several suggestions, different tactics, different strategies to go through that formative process with assessment. But those are the dates. Just want to make sure that you are aware of those for our new teachers. It's also on the third Thursday of the month, but it's from 3:30 to 4:30. Next, okay, principals, you'll notice that we're trying to provide you all with a lot of support, because I think everybody can agree principals have the hardest job in the district. I don't think anybody disagrees with that, because, oh my goodness, what all you have to do. And so that's kind of what we really try to look at and to provide you support, like with Dion sharing that list of all these trainings that you can easily share with your special ed teachers. We have a deeper learning initiative going on here at KVEC, many of you are aware of, and we have deeper learning coaches. Well, kind of part of our phase 2, we thought we needed to provide more support for our principals. And so we are going to have a kickoff. And I am going to put that link in the chat if you're interested. It is virtual, so we are trying to do, we know it's hard for you to get out of the building, but we are partnering with the Thoughtful Classroom. So Dr. Harvey Silver, I know several of us are fans of the Thoughtful Classroom, the Silver and Strong work. And we also have Rick Fisher going to be working with us. And Rick was a principal. And so he has a lot of valuable input with this. But these are going to be just hybrid. You can come in person, but the kickoff is online only, and that is September 7th. So I'm dropping that link in the chat if you want to sign up and join us for that day. We thought, as we're having all these deeper learning coaches trained and all these tools, what about the support for you as principals? And so this is kind of going to be sessions. There are a total of 5 after the kickoff, so 6 total. And the idea is, what really sold me on this when we were meeting with Silver and Fisher and their team, is they shared that, we do have this Danielson framework that our evaluation system has been built off of. It is a little different. We Kentuckified it. But what they shared, that I was like, oh, if I was a principal, I would so want that. So if I have a teacher who's struggling with questioning and discussion techniques, 3B, on the evaluation, they actually have a document that they have tools designated for that you could pick that tool and say, here, why don't you try this? This might be something that you can increase with the questioning to help your teacher. So providing you with those resources, because you having to go look, having something that's just ready, available, that for the different components that could help you to share with the teacher that's struggling with one, that was a big selling point for me. So the kickoff is the 7th. You'll see there's additional dates, 5 additional meetings. That'll be 2-hour sessions. They are hybrid. So if you did want to come in person, Rick wanted to offer an in-person option, because sometimes you do need to just get out of the building and to be able to concentrate, especially with something of this nature. So he will also offer a coaching hour after the 2-hour session. So just kind of making sure that you are aware of that. And there has been a request that the coaching session also be made available to the people attending virtually. So it doesn't mean you'd be left out, but we all know in person is the best option. But if you can't be in person, virtual is the next best thing, although we do know you get pulled in all kinds of directions with that. But just want to make sure you're aware of this. We also have like Dion mentioned, the support for special education, because we all know that can get a little complicated for us. And so special ed was wanting to provide that support as well, which Dion had mentioned. So recommend these are all virtual. So be sure to sign up for those for support in those areas. Our deeper learning phase 2, I mentioned our DL coaches. We do have our kickoff date set. The registration link will be coming soon. Those will be emailed to your district deeper learning leads. It is the 12th and the 13th. The 12th is for district leads and principals. Welcome to come, school leaders, for day 1. Day 2 is our deeper learning coaches. They're welcome to attend both days, but that's kind of catching everybody up to speed, what's been going on with our deeper learning, and talking about action research. They're going to be working to provide support through this. And so a lot of that information is going to be shared through this, because during phase 2, that's what our deeper learning coaches are doing. You're going to work on selecting initiatives in your schools or in your districts that they want to work and do action research on, and all the particulars that related to that. Now, the nice thing is, everything working out with Dr. Silver, he will be here in person for those 2 days. We didn't realize till we saw him last month. He has a wife that she had lung cancer. And so he's been very cautious about getting out. And so hopefully we'll see how things go. But the plan is for him to be here in person on those days. So just kind of want to make sure that you are aware of those. But watch for those links coming out, links coming soon. We have started an MTSS network. The first date, I will be sharing those out. Anyone's welcome to attend those. I do want to target the MTSS leads in districts with this, but we want to make sure that they're invited. But we also want to make sure principals, you are welcome to these, because you're doing a lot of this work. And MTS is nothing new. It's just putting everything under this one big umbrella and looking at the whole child. So it's a new term, I believe. So it's a lot of what you're already doing. But there's these 3 dates. No registration is required for those. If you're not getting information on this in an email by September 1st, just send me an email and we'll make sure and get you on the list. But I'm going to share it with principals, assistant principals, and district admin on this one as well. But we're going to have Melissa Wainwright and Megan Martin joining us, talking all about MTSS and things. We chose these dates because the planning group thought these were good dates, because this is a lot of after we've done some benchmark, those interim assessments, and so kind of focusing on that. That network, we have that coming up. We're doing November 2nd, January 11th, and March 7th. For those dates, just making sure I'll be emailing that out to our DACs and sending those calendar invites. Our dates, so here are the dates that we'll be meeting, and let me send you the link for the network dates. This is going to have all of them, all that that Dion shared, and all that I have shared. It's all on this document, so you can actually print this off and have your own copy of those if you want to. We tried to make them to where one page is for kind of your admins, one page is for teachers, and then there's one page that's kind of a little more special, like your DACs and MTSS and GT. Next, don't forget, we do have the PL calendar, and I'm going to drop these in the chat. We'll take a look at each of these, and I'm also going to be sharing the participant folder in the chat. Oh, we're getting close. Yay. So I'm going to put each of those in. The first, we'll take a look at the PL calendar. Let's see if I can just pull that over here. Can everybody see the PL calendar? Veronica, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Here we can see the PL calendar. It just kind of lists everything that we have available. You can see the KVEC training series with Megan Martin. There is the registration link. If you click on it, has the registration link right there. So that has our different things that are being offered. There's the special ed legal updates that Dion talked about. So just kind of keep an eye on that. Someone had emailed me, and I'm going to send this to them, but the annual certified evaluation update training, several of you have signed up for that. This is virtual. I would recommend KVE's in person, because I'm going to be going to that one myself on October 3rd. But we are going to have an update training virtually with me on August the 30th. So if you're interested in that, right there is the registration. If you've not already registered, there's the Laying the Foundation with the Portrait of a Learner. It's also in there. So just kind of letting you see, we're trying to keep that updated. You can see that what Brana talked about, the classroom management with Shalonda, is there as well. So we're trying to keep those on here, so that this can be kind of your one-stop shop to be able to see all the things that we're offering. The second thing is the Padlet. For those of you that are new, when you click on that, that's going to be a little bit overwhelming. It's a Padlet that is for our instructional administrators. Can everybody see that one now? Can you see that one too, Brana?
Yes.
Bernadette, thank you. I see Bernadette. All right. I update this weekly, and you'll notice it has all the different roles and districts. So principals, here on the left, you will see, I put you first because, like I said, I think you got one of the hardest jobs in the district. So you'll notice all these different things that are specific to you, but you also can go look at the other shelves, the other roles. And so as you go down, you'll see that KDE initial certified evaluation training registration is there. The P3 updates, the graphic they had. The KDE transformational change series for school leaders is there. Applications for your students for the Senate, the U.S. Senate Youth Program. And I also put that with the counselors as well. Making sure that you're looking at the feedback reports that were able to be reviewed. I'll have to remove that one. Your school risk assessment with the highlighted changes, active shooter training, and there's that calendar. I try to keep that updated to where the monthly calendar's there for you. And then the training next week for the school improvement registration. So just all kinds of things that are very specific to you. as a principal. Also want to make sure that we highlight the letters application is open till August the 31st. If you're going to have teachers be participating in that, as of right now, the co-ops that are managing, providing a rank change, your teachers have to register for the letters. They have to go through this application. I sent out an email of some rank change options for with GREC and KEDC. And so I think KEDC has an informational meeting at the end of the month. So if there's any information, I believe I shared it with a lot of you all, but if I did not, just let me know and I'll let you be aware of that. But they are trying to offer, but it is more work and there is a cost for the rank change. Now I know some districts are helping to pay for that, but just it is more than just letters. Letters alone does not allow for the rank change. So just being sure aware of that. Counselors have some different things listed in there for them. As you look over, you see the Director of Pupil Personnel, Director of Special Ed. They do have a letters application for preschool. So that's in there. Different things for the DAC. The Scott Trimble, if you are a new DAC, that is a great training that you should go to, the Scott Trimble workshop in October. So be sure that you're aware of that. Federal programs, deadlines, things, resources for you, instructional supervisor, making sure that you're aware of some different things. I kind of put a lot of things in there. If there's a role missing and that you really think should be in here, please let me know. NTSS coordinators, just PD coordinators, some different things that are coming up. I do want to make mention to this because this is a school leader network leaders. I may have that wrong, but if you click on that one, they are offering one more. I'll have to go in and change that. It's not SNL. I must have been thinking Saturday Night Live or something. I don't know about that, y'all. I'm a little worried about myself. I'm a little worried.
Don't make me start doing some skits now. I will.
No, please don't. No. But the School Leadership Network, I'll make that correction. They are going to do that virtual. So if you have not done that with the Project-Based Learning Network, PBL Works, it has some good information for you. So if you are interested, there is the registration where you can sign up. You just need to click on the School Leader Network and it takes you straight to the registration on that. So do want to make sure you're aware of that because their launch is August the 28th and August 29th. So that's kind of timely. You need to go ahead and sign up for that if you're interested in project-based learning. It is a good resource for that. But you can just look and see SBDM coordinator, superintendent. I have this also on the principals, that application for the Distinguished Schools program. The deadline's the 25th, but all kinds of information shared. Also have the new Read at Home Plan Family Guide that was released last month. So making sure you're aware that's there. And the Science Standards Revised is now live for you to be able to go and access on kystandards.org. But there's your Padlet. Just oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. That's so sweet. As long as you all like it, I do not care one bit to keep doing the Padlet if it's beneficial. That's the main thing, is just making sure that it is something you can use and something. I know it's a lot of information, but the best way I could think to organize it was by your roles. And so please, I'm always open to feedback on how to make things better. I would say you could use this. Some of you have your own systems of where you share information. A Padlet's not a bad idea, but let me tell you, it needs to be something that's stationary, because having to update it every week, you don't have time for that. And I know that. But if you wanted to do something like for resources for your elementary teachers, I could see you having a resource of, links to things they need to know, especially for your new teachers. Like you could have like important links, like their email login, their Infinite Campus login, having that to where they see those documents, but things that you really want to make sure those new teachers, and maybe even experienced too, but new teachers, I could see like you have a math column so that they have a list of all the math resources. So it wouldn't be something you would have to change unless you got a new resource. but just something that would be a, you know, pleasant look. Some of you have district websites, a Google site, those are great, but that was something I was thinking, but you don't want something that you're going to have to change weekly. I use the commissioner's email, the different listservs that come out to update those. So just, you know, if there's something missing, please just let me know. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Ratliff. Appreciate that. So glad that you all are liking it. The next thing, let's see if I can get back to my power. Let's see. The last thing was your folder. I'm going to drop in. Make sure that you can click on the folder. There should be a document in there that is our KVEC network dates that you should see. And I made an August folder. As long as you can access it, that's the main thing I want to make sure. After this is over today, I'm going to go ahead and put the PDF so you have all the links from the PowerPoint slides in there, and we'll get the recording in there. We'll try to have that in by next week. Our holler guys are great for working with me and getting those ready so that you can go back if there's something you need to re-listen to. But that gives that information. Let's see, anything else? If anybody has any trouble, let me know accessing the Google form. Where'd it go? Let's get that back over here. But do you all have any questions so far? I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you. I'm so sorry for that. But those are just some things I don't want you to forget about that are out there that are there for you to help and provide you support. If there's not, I do have one other thing, but if you need to go, you are free to go. I'm going to go ahead and put the link and stop the recording because I do have something that if you have time, I would love some input on that we're working on as a project. I'm working on with Jacob and with the holler of trying to get some information. So let me get the link for you for the feedback survey. Some of you like to use your phone, so just appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. It did, hey, it's an hour and a half. Leave it at 2 hours because I know you're going to be doing stuff anyway, especially if you're looking through the Padlet or any of the other resources that were provided today. But if you will, go ahead and complete the feedback survey. You should receive an email from kvec.training with the certificate. If you do not receive it, please let me know. Some, I think, of you might want to check with your tech people to let that get on the white list in your district so that those emails will come through, but it's from kvec.training at theholler.org. So you will get, and you should get it pretty much immediately. I know some of them, some districts may have that blocked. If you do not get your certificate, just email me. I will go get it because if you have completed it, just make sure your email is correct on the form. But if you'll provide us some feedback, some other things you would like to see, we'll try our best to get some other people from KDE to come in and to meet with us and to talk with you all at the first of the session. I think that's always good to get those people. If there's somebody in particular you want me to try to get for our sessions, let me know. From KDE, Ben Wilcox is always one that we kind of like to hear from because we're all thinking about safety. That's always on our minds. But any other group at KDE or anybody else you would want us to bring in to do like some highlights or things they have coming up, please put that in the feedback survey. But once you have done that, you are free to go. And I am going to stop recording. But if you do have time to hang on and to take a look at something with me, I would like some feedback. It's related to data, assessment data that I want to kind of, we're kind of working on something so that when an assessment data comes out in October, we're trying to work on a tool that might be helpful to you because I know there's a lot of different looks out there. You have the equity dashboard that has great data when it comes to state assessment. I mean, if you haven't looked at that, you need to. But we want to take a look at some data and get your input on that. But if you don't have time, you go ahead and jump off and have a great day. And thank you so much for being here today.